I'm Johnny Scoville, and this is Chase the Heat. Feel the burn. Good to see you. Hello, Kristen, Barbara. Hello, Jason. Spicy Jen. If I've missed your name, please say something so I can greet you. So I'll hit the like if you don't mind. They say more people will see it if we do that. I don't care if you hit the downvote. How about that? It's just engagement. Good to see you all. It's been a wonderful day. Had a good time. This one, I'm going to talk about a few things before I do the review because I got a cool product today. But we went this morning. Hi, John. Good to see you. Went this morning. Silver Surfer. Hello, Tracy and Michelle. Went to the Recovery Center today. It was fantastic. Had a Bible study, and the guys look great. Hello, Brock. Good to see you, dude. Thank all my mods, the best mods there are. Hi, Wes Lightburn. Good to see you. Hello, Jane Aldrich. Good to see you. Lisa Trimble. Toby Reveille. Mike Bragg. Good to see you all. Let's hit that like. So there's just, every time we go, there's just massive growth. It really is fun, and we're seeing the vision of where it's going. They're going to have a really cool weight room, pool table, ping pong table, all outside covered, which is kind of neat. Uh-oh. Phil asked Spicy Jen to marry me. Well, what did she say?
Nice.
You like that?
Yep.
I don't think anybody else got that. That's a Tommy Boy reference. He said, I've asked her to marry me. He goes, well, what did she say? I hope she said yes. That would be exceedingly cool. Jeremy Fowler, good to see you. Glad you guys are here. Hi, Amy. Lilac Lime. And she said yes. How exciting is that? Nuptials, people. It's kind of exciting. It's a wonderful institution. Hello, Barella. Good to see you. That is exciting, huh? Wow. Getting married. It's a good thing. All right. So it was just wonderful. There's just, every time we go out there, there's more, there's more trees and plants, and everybody's attitude was great today. It's really amazing. They get homework at every, hello, Jennifer. They get homework at every Bible study, and they all do it, and they're eager. And when they say, hey, somebody want to read this verse, it's like a fight. They're like going through the Bible as quick as they can to get there. It's just cool to be there. Very exciting. Well, that's really exciting. Giant congratulations. How cool is that? All right, so listen, we haven't done a late night snack time in a while, and it's not late night. Kids watch, though. And it's late night somewhere. I have a friend here named Joshua. If you see this, Joshua, you're a stud. Thank you so much. Joshua gave this to me to review. It's one of my favorite Ecuadorian companies, Olé. This is totopos, tortillas with corn. And it's made with the maracuya hot sauce by Olé. It's kind of a cool thing. I'm looking forward to trying these. I have not yet. I am blind. I kid you not. We got corn, vegetable oil. We've got some sugar. We have onion, garlic. And we have their hot sauce, which is exciting. No translator, people. I'm learning. I'm getting there. So I'm excited about trying this. The spicy products here, you know what? They're no different than the spicy products in America as far as heat. There are none that are terrifying hot. It's just, it's growing. Every time I go to Supermaxi, there seems to be more hot stuff. It just smells like a corn chip. So nothing spectacular with the aroma. Olé totopos. And if you have something spicy, join me. I was going to do a 1 hot minute, but I just wanted to review these. I'm Johnny Scoville, and this is Chase. Thank you again, Joshua. Prayers for Jamaica and Cuba. Are they getting pounded with a storm? Kind of removed from everything here. Wonderful salt sugar thing going on. hair in my eye, not a cat hair. You can taste the garlic and the onion and a little bit of heat from the hot sauce they put in. But the flavor is lovely. Cat 5 Hurricane to Jamaica. No way. That's brutal. I'm so sorry. You know what? There's a... Bless you. Bless you again. There's a nice little... Not really burn. I guess if you've never had anything hot, this would be spicy. But I can taste the heat. I'm a fan. They don't really dig the giant bags of chips. You can get them if you look for them, but most of the bags are like this size. Lovely chips. Now, I know that you can get Olay online. Whole Foods Market, things like that. Try their sauces. They're wonderful. Christian says, yum. I bet you would like them. Not one hot minute tonight, John. Tommy's is preparing for a show tonight. She's gonna want to watch that one. You should try these, Tommy. What makes this is the sweet and the salt and the sweet thing going. You know what though? We'll do one hot minute tomorrow. You know what? They taste. Everything here is just a little bit healthier. Rainy, I'm glad you're here. There's a question. What's the hottest Scoville concentrate you've had? As far as extract like sauces, it's probably plutonium from Ashley Food Company. It's 9 million. But I've also had like 13 million pure Scoville drops. I've done pure 16 million Scoville. So I've kind of gone as high as it goes. You know, extract and concentrates, they're not for everybody. The burn is fantastic, but the taste oftentimes is not. They're getting soft, but you'll wait. John, we'll do one hot minute tomorrow. I'm sure it'll be okay just for one more day. I hope they will. Metal Music Maniac. Good to see you. It's a lot better. Keith Kingman, good to see you. I'm glad you're here. You know, it tastes better than well, I shouldn't say it tastes better. It's better looking, much more appealing looking than the koi we had a few nights ago.
Good Lord and out.
Archie's mom, good to see you. I'm glad you're here. If you didn't see that video, you probably ought to. That's an interesting comment. Thank you, John. That's why you are, in fact, what I would think of as a legend, because of a special talent that you took advantage of. You know, it's interesting. I don't think I have I think while I was going through it and my tolerance was super high. Hi, Tyler. Tyler, excuse me. Good to see you. When my tolerance was at its peak, I sort of had myself convinced that I had like an unusual tolerance for heat. I think anybody can get there. You just got to build to it, you know? But what I have is I kind of like pain. It is what it is. A bit of a masochist. But we had koi the other night. If you didn't see it, koi is mostly from Peru, but all over Ecuador. It's a kind of a traditional Ecuadorian dish.
I have that photo loaded in my
Do you really?
Yeah.
You guys want to see this picture? Oh, I'm going to show you this. I caution you. Gird your loins. Are you ready? This is what Tommy and I had for dinner a couple days ago. That is koi. It's not a rat. Oh, it kind of looks like one, but it's not. Although I will tell you this. It is a rodent. It's in the rodent family. But before anyone freaks out, so are rabbits also, you know, in the rodent family. There, trigger warning, koi video. There's a couple of them up there, but it was absolutely lovely. The taste was fantastic. It didn't, here's the thing. I'm a dummy. I should have probably Googled it before we ate it to kind of get a look at what it looked like. Because when I did after we ate it, every one of them looked exactly like the dish that David made for us. So, David, thank you if you see this. It was wonderful. It really was. The taste was fantastic. But, when you eat a chicken wing, you know where the meat is. If you know what I mean? This was a weird animal. It was interesting to try to go at it. But the flavor was absolutely fantastic. But I should have researched it. You know what? These get better every time I eat them. And they were good from the start. It's the sweet. It's the salty and the sweet combined. Unbelievable. Lisa Trimble wants to eat half of a tube of terra peanut. Here's the thing, Lisa. Your tolerance is way higher than the average person. It is. I know you probably don't. Most people think everybody else's tolerance is higher. Everybody watching probably has a higher tolerance than most. It wouldn't kill you. Robert, good to see you. They're very, very hot, but unless you have an allergy to peanuts or to capsaicin, it's not going to kill you. Chili Eskimo, good to see you. It might feel like you're going to die, but you're not. Here's the thing. No one's died from the tube of terror. We sold a lot of them. Nobody. Now, I should tell you. Hi, Joel from Chicago. Good to see you. Hey, Tommy. Joel says hi. We've had, I think if online, there are like 4 videos of people going to the hospital after eating the tube of terror. One was funny. He took off going to the hospital, couldn't drive anymore, pulled off on the side of the road and waited for the ambulance. Remember that one?
Yeah.
Waited for the ambulance to come. The first time it happened, somebody messaged me and goes, dude, somebody went to the hospital because of your tube of terror. I called Foy. I said, dude, we got a problem. Monk, I'm going to monk. He said, what's the problem? I told him. He said, problem? He goes, you can't buy that kind of advertising. It's a silly thing we do. But you just got to build your tolerance up. That's all. It's not that hard to do. You just got to stay at it. You can't eat hot stuff once every 2 weeks and think you're going to really build your tolerance that much. Like I had my foot on the gas pedal for 8 years and never let up. I'll bet you a lot of you never saw this. I was in a contest where I ate 10 tubes of terror back to back. Awful. About an hour and 50 minutes or so. Super long challenge. It was brutal. Fun though. So John, I can now add habanero to anything. Habanero is a great pepper we were talking about today on the way back from the recovery center. Mike loves jalapeno. Big news for you guys. I have probably 30 different strains of peppers that I'll be getting soon. And I live in a place where you can grow pods all year round. So I'm going to be, and I mean, they're the mildest I think is, I think a jalapeno. But I've got primatalis, warthogs from the man himself, Matthew Arthur, good dude. Good. Here's a good comment. No one can go bench 500 pounds right off the bat. And I've used that example, If you look at a guy who's got, or anybody who has really, is a beast in the gym, they didn't wake up and just happen. They worked at it. And tolerances rise quickly, but they fall quicker. True story. That's a good example, though. You got to work at it. The gusher you ate a while back was crazy to watch. I've eaten a lot of gushers. I'm not sure which one you're talking about. But I've eaten a lot of gushers. A gusher, people, if you're watching, like, what's a gusher? It's when you take a pepper and then you fill it with something. Usually, hot sauce or tincture or something. It's interesting, though. John still can't eat a pod, but adds the habaneros to food. It's lovely. Jason says your balcony is going to be green before you know it. Here's the thing. I'm going to grow some on my balcony for sure. However, I'm going to, at the recovery center, they have a lot. I could probably grow 1,000 plants there. There's a lot of land there. So I think we're going to do that. Not like 1,000, but I'm going to grow a bunch. We can grow them all year round. I'm so excited. Raw paws to the stomach is no freaking joke. Yeah, it's a different experience for sure. But I was talking to somebody just the other day. If your tolerance is at jalapeno, you can still eat ghost peppers. You just gotta cut a sliver the size of a toothpick. For real, you'll get the flavor of the pepper without the commitment of the burn. Rainey asks, "Have you ever tried ayahuasca?" I've not. I've done everything else though. There was a time where I kind of wanted to, but those days are over. I don't really agree with that. I'm kind of in that sober mode. Jason says, decorate a plant as your Christmas tree. That's a good idea. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a lot of videos about the grow. For real. I think on my balcony, I'll probably grow like a jalapeno and maybe a warthog. And maybe a ghost pepper. Archie's mom, I've got Johnny and 1 hot minute to thank for my newfound fondness of spicy food. You know what? It's a funny thing about spicy food. Monk saying hello to Wes. You know, it's funny when everybody says, even if you're brand new at it, brand new, someone will say, how hot is it on the scale of 1 to 10? You know what that scale of 1 to 10 is, right? You can call it hot, but what you're really describing is how much pain you're in. And I think there are a lot of people, a lot of chili heads that like pain. And they may not like it on the level that other people like it, but there's an element there. I really believe that. Feel the burn. I ate a chocolate primatale the other night, and I hit a 7. That's a wicked hot pepper, man. I remember the first time I ate a primatale. If you've ever had if anybody's ever made the jump from like habanero to ghost pepper, the second you bite the ghost pepper, you're like, okay, this is a different pepper. It's like way, way hotter, just like that. And then I started eating all the ultra hots. And they're hot, but you rarely get one that makes you feel like that. It's like, yeah, it's hot. You know what I mean? There's so many peppers as hot or hotter than a Reaper. So many. Like really, so many. But the first time I had a primatale, it had the same effect as going from a habanero to a ghost pepper. I immediately was like, okay, that's different. Crazy hot. And then I ate the warthog, and the warthog was hotter than anything I've ever eaten. Robert said I had strong horseradish yesterday. Need to get on over to the Pepper Palace and try their nasal napalm. I'm not joking. That's what it's called. It's billed as the hottest horseradish. I don't know if horseradish is hot. It's, what would you call it? I don't think it's hot. But it's something. The nasal napalm wants to steal your oxygen. It's crazy. Joel says, growing peppers at the rehab center would be fantastic for those people over there, Johnny. But that's what I was thinking. Gives them something else to do. They're working on, landscaping, plumbing, electrical, concrete work, everything. Plumbing, the whole 9 yards. But this would be a good thing for them to do. And the other thing is this. I wouldn't be too worried about people eating them. And it wouldn't matter if they did. They wouldn't be able to eat them all. It's definitely a different burn. It is. It's good, kind of like wasabi. It's very similar. Mike says, growing them on the balcony, you got a good chance they will cross-pollinate. When I did an interview with Matthew Arthur, and he was fantastic. He was telling me I asked, how do you do that? How do you cross-pollinate? Because I've seen videos where people take like paintbrushes and go to one plant and then to another. That's nonsense. And anybody that grows peppers will tell you that's nonsense. And I haven't, but I've had a million growers say that's nonsense. Matthew Arthur says he puts one in the middle, and the one that he wants to cross, and then he puts all the ones he wants to cross with it around it. And lets God and the bees do the rest. Kristen says, I don't think you could talk on the first Warthog video, could you? No. Well, I'm not sure if it was the first one, but the one that I got a rogue one that was the hottest pepper I've ever eaten. And I had a hard time talking. For real. Which is hotter, a Reaper or a ghost pepper? The ghost pepper. Nah, I'm kidding. That was a dig against the Reaper. The Reaper is going to be substantially hotter. You know, it really will. A big, big jump hotter. But here, like I said, even with, you could take a sliver. You could take a sliver of warthog, the hottest pepper, I believe, in existence. And if you just took a sliver of it, I'm telling you, anybody could eat it. If you eat the whole pod, you're committing to the heat, and it's going to be a bummer. It's going to be hard to handle if you're not used to it. But if you just take a sliver of it, you'll get the flavor of the pepper without the incredible commitment of eating the whole pod, because eating a whole pod is a different animal altogether. Archie's mom has a papple tree. It's a pear and an apple tree. It's pretty cool. When Tommy and I grew up, this is a true story. We had an apple orchard in our backyard. How many different strains of apples do you think we had?
Bunch,
Like 10?
at least.
Maybe 10, 12. I don't know. It was a lot of different apples. And there were 2 pear trees, right? Yep. We had 2 different pear trees. We knew a guy in Vermont whose name was Dwayne. What a solid guy this dude was. Whew. Not even joking. This guy was a beast. But he was, you name it, he was good at it. You know, he was just a mountain man. He was a country guy. But he would splice. He spliced onto this one main tree in the middle of the apple orchard, cuts from every single apple tree he had. So after a year or two, that apple tree in the middle of the whole area would grow every single. If you looked at it, there'd be every apple we had in the orchard was on that one tree, and both pears growing from one tree. It's very, very cool. There you go, Jason says. Horseradish contains AITC, a volatile oil that activates the TRPA1 receptor in the nasal passages, causing burning, stinging sensation. God, I love that. Yeah, the chocolate, anything warthog. I'm serious. It's just stupid hot. I mean, it tastes good, but it's just so hot. Someone sent me a comment, left a comment on one of the videos. I believe, maybe it was an email, I'm not quite sure. I get a lot. But they said that somebody who was on video eating Pepper X ate a warthog and said the warthog was the hottest pepper he ever ate. I believe it is. You know what's the best thing about the warthog? When Matthew sent it to me, it just floored me. I never watched videos of myself, and I watched that video a bunch just because I couldn't believe it. It was mind-boggling how hot it was. I contacted him after we were talking a lot. I said, man, it's the hottest thing there is. He goes, let's give the seeds away. That's at a time where everybody's greedy and just wants more, and it's just all about making more money. He's like, yeah, let's give them away. I said, you serious? He goes, yeah. So what he said was, anybody who sends me a self-addressed stamped envelope, I'm going to send you some more. I promise you, there are people in the chat right now who got free warthog seeds. You know? And then you have other people that are just gripping it as tight as they can, wanting more. It says warthog or Pepper X. Not sure what you're asking, bro. I think that warthog, I've never eaten a Pepper X. I have, however, had Last Stab experience by the same manufacturer company. And it was billed as being 2.4 million Scoville heat units. And I ate it with Tommy the first time. Hi, Dale, good to see you. Tommy was like, I don't know if I can eat this. I said, well, we'll see how it goes. And I took some of the sauce, and I was like, oh, dude, you're going to be fine. It's nowhere near 2.4 million. And Tommy ate it, and he was like, it didn't kill him. And I'm telling you, if it was 2.4, it would have killed me. 2.4 is a mind-boggling number. I don't think people understand how hot 2.4 million Scoville is. So anyway, it was just not that hot. So I said, I don't know, I'm going to send a bottle to a lab and have it tested. So I bought a bottle, Never came to me. It was sent directly to the lab. They tested, sent the results to me, and the results were that, in spite of claim being, purported to be 2.4 million, it was only 66,000 Scoville heat units. Or was it 61?
I don't remember.
Call it 66. It was a fraction of what it was supposed to be. So then someone said, "Well, one test doesn't really make a study." So I said, "By Jove, you're right." So I bought another bottle and sent it to a different lab, and they reviewed it and did a test of the Scoville heat units. 61. Thank you, Jeremy Fowler. I had a feeling I was giving them a little more than they deserved. The second one was basically the same thing. So it's just not that hot. Crazy, isn't it? You can say anything. If you say anything long enough, people start believing it. But the majority of people that believe that are brand new chili heads that have never eaten anything hot. And if you've never, ever eaten anything hot and you eat that, you'll be like, okay, that's 2.4 million. You have no frame of reference. But any chili head eats it and goes, what is it? Double Doom Rebooted from Hellfire is 2.4 million, or maybe 2.6 or something. Try that. And that's what 2.4 million feels like. No joke. That's the only sauce I've ever eaten in my life that gave me the hiccups. And thank God it happened on video. I was so excited. I really was. It was like a great moment for me because I don't get hiccups. In fact, today we were talking about it. Remember that? Mike, the guy we were going out with to the recovery center, says, "Man, I get the hiccups." I'm like, "Hey, it's not a sign of weakness. I've competed against monsters that got hiccups." Jeremy says, "Unfortunately, Hot Ones has really thrown a wrench in spreading the false info." Yeah, but here's the thing. Again, they're no different. They're almost the same company because the only people that buy into any of that nonsense are people that don't know anything about peppers or the chili community. And there's nothing wrong with that. You got to start somewhere, right? But they're taking advantage of people that are new and don't know. But both companies have hemorrhaged respect. Bad. RAS, good to see you. People, if you try something once and you walk away from it, then you walk away from it thinking that's the hottest thing in the world. But if you stay at it, you start eating hot stuff, at some point you go, I don't think that's as hot as they claim it is. So anyway, that bottle of Last Dab Experience was over 91% of the 6-ounce bottle, 5-ounce bottle, 91% was Pepper X or Pepper X distillate, just whatever. And so something that's 91% Pepper X, which is supposedly 2.6 million. It should have been it wasn't even close. RAS asks, "Have I ever grown homegrown peppers?" I have not. But I have about 30 different strains that I'll have very soon. 91% unicorn fonts. Exactly. But RAS, I will be growing peppers. I have about 30 different strains coming to me, ranging from jalapeno to the hottest pepper in the world. My nose is stuffed. I watched the video of you eating those fudge squares. It looked so hot. Did you taste any chocolate? Maybe the first square. Those were stupid hot. I'm not kidding you. I had almost the worst cramps I ever had in my life from that. And probably, it was right up there with the worst cramps I've ever had. Horrific. I knew the first bite, it was going to be a nightmare of a challenge. I knew it was going to be hot because it was loaded with extract. But man, it hurt me. It really hurt me. Bustin' Roots, good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate that. So tomorrow what we'll do is we're going to do a one-hot minute. I'm going to have some more of these. This is what I reviewed. This is funny. Ed said he would not let me come to his farm and compare my cross to his stuff. You know what's really funny? Let me tell you a funny story. I don't really care anymore. What are they going to do to me? Hold on a second. Momo Jim, I'm going to get to your question in just a minute. Funny story, though. True story. Get that?
Mhm.
Thank you. I was shooting the reality show, Super House, and we went to the Dallas Zestfest. And in the facility, in the big convention center, I was mic'd up. So I had a mic on, and there were 3 cameras, one in front of me, one to the side, I think a drone. It was just ridiculous. There were so many cameras there. But I was just walking around, and I walked by the Ed's booth, all right, and Puckerman. And there were some people behind the booth that I had never seen. Eva Lama, good to see you, dude. There were people behind the counter that I had never seen before. And this guy said, "Hey, Johnny." I said, "Hey, how you doing?" And he says, "Hey, why don't you come over here and try some stuff?" I said, "Certainly." And he goes, what would you like to try?" And I said, "Well, every time a company goes to a show like that, they have things that they want to show. You know what I mean?" So I said, well, what do you, I'm sure you brought something new. What would you like me to try?" And he said, he handed me something. He goes, "Well, try this. It's made with the world's hottest pepper, the Carolina Reaper." And I looked around. "You're not blocked, Will. We can see you. I can see you. We wouldn't be able to look at this. Let me show you real quick. If you were blocked, nobody would be able to see that. You're definitely not blocked, my man." Anyhow, he said, "It's made with the hottest pepper, the Carolina Reaper." And I looked around, and it wasn't that I forgot that I had the mic on. I knew I had it on. But I was quiet. I leaned forward, and he leaned forward. I said, "Hey, stop doing that. Stop. Everybody knows it's not the hottest pepper. You know it. I know it. Ed knows it. And everybody in this building mostly knows it. Stop saying that." And he says to me, "What gives you the right to say that?" I said, "Because I've eaten more peppers than probably anybody you know. And it's just not the hottest pepper." And so then he says, "Why don't you try this? It's some product with Pepper X." And I looked at him and I said, "Tell you what," I said, "I got a car in my garage. I go faster than a Tesla. Nobody's ever seen it. No one's ever got a ride in it. Trust me, I got it." So anyway, I walked away. Oh, then he says to me, "Why don't you come?" I swear, this is what he said. He goes, "Why don't you come out to the farm and eat one?" And I said, "Do you have the authority to extend that offer to me?" And he goes, "I do." I said, "Shake on it." And he stuck his hand out and shook my hand. They wouldn't let me come out and eat one.
No.
No, it's true.
No.
No, it's true. He was actually the CFO of the company. Again, hemorrhaging respect, people. And Momo Jim says, "Will you ever do one of those under-promise and over-deliver challenges again?" Most certainly. I have peppers on the way to me. I'm going to be growing some amazing peppers in a place that is absolutely spectacular to grow peppers. I live in Ecuador in South America. And Dale, I'm sorry to give you a hard time. I don't believe that. Sorry. I don't believe any pepper is 2.6 million. And I'm not sure any pepper is 2.2. I'm not trying to give you a hard time. I don't trust tests. I just don't believe it. I'm just being honest with you, dude. I like you. I really do. I think maybe you got misinformation. I've eaten a lot of peppers, dude. Lisa White, good to see you. I've eaten a stupid amount of peppers, and I don't believe peppers get that hot. I don't think the warthog I ate was that hot. I know it was hotter than everything else, though. I don't know. Maybe there's, here's the thing. It's the big lie in the community. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you, Dale. I'm just saying the producers want to say this is the hottest sauce in the world because it helps them sell sauces. The people that buy it want to believe that I use this as a good example. We'll do a little test here. Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever eaten a Carolina Reaper. All right? And even if you've not, please type in how hot you think a Carolina Reaper is. Everybody that has ever eaten a Carolina Reaper will say, I've eaten 1.5 million Scoville heat units. They all will. Because that's what the hottest Reaper ever tested was. I'm here to tell you, I've eaten a million of them. I've never had a Carolina Reaper that was 1.5 million. I do know what 1.5 million feels like. No, I believe you, Dale. I believe you. I just don't believe tests. And also, I don't buy it. Not knocking you, dude. I'm just saying I don't believe reports of things. I just don't think anything's that hot. If it is that hot, you need to do yourself a favor and find somebody who wants to buy that pepper from you. Don't try to do it on your own. Don't try to turn it into a franchise. Find somebody in the pepper game, show them those numbers, and they will buy those peppers from you. They will buy the seeds, do an exclusive with them, and you can get rich that way if it's that hot. I don't know if 7-pot primos are way hotter. It was 7-pot primos were hotter in the Super Hot series. I think it was 1.6 million. But it's the big lie that everybody wants to tell because everybody wants to think they're the tough guy eating the hot peppers and in the break room going, this is 2.4 million. It's called blast out experience. So it's going to be a hard thing to ever get people to neck in. Like I've eaten a lot of them. Here's the truth of it. You can pull, if you have a Carolina Reaper plant or any other plant, ghost pepper, anything. Actually, ghost pepper is pretty consistent. But with all super hots, you can pull 2 peppers from the exact same plant and have different flavors and absolutely different varying levels of heat. I promise you. It's the truth. So you got to kind of, you know what this comes with? Eating a lot of peppers. Dale doesn't want fame. Oops, I'll stick with the sausage, says Eva Lama. Dale says, don't want the money or fame. I'll tell you what, if I had a pepper that was 2.6 million, I would turn it into a paycheck like that. For real, I would. JBOC was the last hot pepper I ate, ruined me, says Will. Listen, peppers get hot, but I just don't think like when they said that someone in the chat tell me how hot they claim the Pepper X is. Was it 2.63 million? It's not. It's just not. They'll tell you it is. It's not. And the other thing is this, there are chocolate pods, right? True story. There are chocolate pods that have a much lower Scoville heat unit rating that will burn you more than other red peppers that are hotter. They burn differently. So they say Pepper X is 2.4 million. So if you got something that's 2.6, if you don't want to sell, I'll help you turn that into a lot of money. If you get something that's proven to be 2.6, you can turn that into a lot of money. Ed Curry says milk don't help. Ed says a lot of things. He does. On two different occasions, he has told me a falsehood personally. It's kind of how I judge a man, by how if he's an honest person. Milk will always help. The dairy kind of adheres to the receptors on your tongue and blocks it just for a moment. It gives you just a little bit of relief. But the second you swallow it, the heat's right back. Water does the same thing. If you drink water, it just makes it worse. It spreads all the oils around. And it helps you while the water's in your mouth. The minute you swallow it, it ignites back up again. What some people do, and this is a process that people do to cheat systems, to cheat Scoville ratings, it's something called cap soaking. They'll take pods, because when you send pods to a place, you have to send them powder. All right, so you got to dry out your pods. So what people have done is they'll have a bowl of their peppers, and they'll pour in 16 million Scoville pure capsaicin crystals. And let them soak. Then you drain it all out, dry your peppers, and your peppers are going to be way, way hotter than they were before you did that. Now, there's no way for a lab to differentiate capsaicin. Listen, that's capsaicin. If a lab is looking at capsaicin, they can't say, oh, this is from a pepper. Oh, but this capsaicin here is from crystals. Capsaicin is capsaicin. There's nothing. They don't have something in place to say, somebody spiked this with capsaicin crystals. But it's been done. It's been done. So, I don't know. It's an interesting business, I'll tell you that. But I am way fired up. Miso Smokes, good to see you. I am super, super excited to grow peppers because I've been talking about it for about 7 years. Been busy. Been doing a lot of stuff. And I didn't really have the opportunity. Didn't know if I have the time. But now I have the time, the opportunity, and the place to grow them. And the perfect climate. Perfect climate. In fact, Matthew Arthur said to me yesterday, man, you're growing those in the perfect climate. They ought to be great. I'm excited about that. Guys, I'm wrapping this up. I want to thank you all for being here. Please join me tomorrow where we will do 1 hot minute. What a funny question. Robert says, would you grow anything else? No, probably not. I don't know. I shouldn't say that. Maybe I would. I don't know. I'm just really kind of excited to do peppers right now because I can grow them all year round. That's a great question, Momo Jim. You know who you need to ask? Dizzy Dragon. Everything is a cross. I mean, there's not a whole lot of original, peppers where it all started from, like a palette of colors where they added things and made new colors. Ooh, tomatoes would be great to grow here. You are indeed right, Chris and Melinda. Boy, if you get like a nice vine, like real tomato that somebody grew, so different than those orange balls you get at the grocery store. Anyway, I'm done, you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Please, 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 5 minutes after the hour.
Might be about a half hour after I'm still grabbing a couple of things.
It's going to be a little bit later, but please watch Tommy's stream. He's on one. He's got a good one going. Thank you all for being here. And please join me tomorrow night for 1 hot minute. I love you guys. I'm Johnny Scoville. This was Chase the Heat. Man.